Hello, and welcome back to another video of me talking about the movies I have watched in the month of July. It's been a little while. Last one I did was in March, or I guess April technically. I've been on a bit of a hiatus because I've been working on a new short film. A film that I'm actually going to show you a sneak peek of right now.
Jeez, man, you look wasted.
Looks pretty cool, right? I'll talk more on it later in the video, but let's just get into the movies. First up is Godzilla, released in 1954, directed by Ishiro Honda. It's been a long time coming. This is a pretty good movie. I mean, clearly, it set the tone somewhat for Godzilla to come. Obviously, they get a little more goofy as the series goes on. Honestly, I really don't have much to say about the movie. It's been pretty much a month since I actually watched it, because I watched it at the beginning of July. But I think it was good. Good movie. Next up is Pokémon Detective Pikachu, released in 2019, directed by Rob Letterman. Two things about that. 2019, insane to me. I remember this as being like a 2017, 2018 movie. 2019 just feels way too close to 2020, which feels, I don't know. Time is just an illusion. Doesn't matter. This director, I've actually low-key seen his entire filmography. He did Shark Tale, Monsters vs. Aliens, that one Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, and Gulliver's Travels, another Jack Black movie, and that one I watched when I was very, very, very into Jack Black as a kid. I still enjoy him. It's just odd to me that I've seen this guy's entire filmography. It's too bad that this film was a little disappointing, honestly. I was looking forward to seeing it in theaters when I saw the trailer, ooh, photoreal Pokemon looks pretty cool. And on that point, the effects were very good. I did enjoy seeing the photoreal Pokemon, but like my main gripe with this film is, it's obviously in the plot being very predictable, but the characters are just pretty unlikable. Like Justice Smith's character is meant to be like the audience surrogate, he's a little disillusioned with Pokemon and stuff like that, but he just comes off as whiny and boring throughout the film. And obviously he does get into the plot of my dad's missing, blah blah blah, there's this Pikachu, and it's obvious what the twist is going to be. And speaking of Pikachu, the Ryan Reynolds voice on the Pikachu face and body, I don't know, there's sometimes where it worked, other times that it just did not. I chose this as a road trip movie on my way to New York. I will be honest, there were multiple times throughout watching the film that I was thinking of just turning it off, but I stuck through. It was fine. I honestly, I probably would have liked it more if I had seen it in theaters back in 2019. Next up is A Quiet Place Day One, directed by Michael Sarnowski. I honestly wasn't super excited to see this movie, but I was convinced to see it in theaters by good reviews and my mom enjoying it, so I was like, sure, we'll see it. Honestly, I feel like the tone and the character, well, I'd say more the tone, and then anything, it falls more in line with the first one versus the second one. First Quiet Place is more character oriented. Sure, there's some action, but the second one is very action oriented. And I like this film for how quiet it is. It's very character driven, and it's an apocalypse movie about a character who is gonna die regardless of the events of the movie, so it makes it all the more interesting as to why she's doing what she's doing and the relationships formed during this event. The chemistry between Sam and Eric, Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn's character is pretty strong. I do enjoy seeing the two on screen together. I do feel, and I think this is a common sentiment, that Eric's character was just a little underdeveloped. I feel like he was given certain direction that was supposed to lead into some sort of reveal or something about his character, but it just never came about. Obviously, Djimon Hounsou? I'm definitely mispronouncing his name. But his character takes Eric to the compound that they eventually end up having in part 2. And I feel like we're probably going to get a sequel, like a direct sequel to that movie. But I was not super invested in what was happening next in this series. But after seeing this one, though, I think I'm definitely interested to see where the series will go next. Next up is Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously released this year, 2024, directed by Sean Levy, who previously did, from what I've seen, Fall Guy and The Atom Project, two alright movies. I don't know, the Fall Guy was kind of disappointing seeing in theaters. The Atom Project, obviously a Netflix release, it was fine. It features, though, Walker Scobell, the current Percy Jackson. I could get into Percy Jackson, I'm not going to get into Percy Jackson, but those are pretty alright movies. This movie, though, I think is a bit of a step above. Obviously, the plot might have been a little surface level, but it allowed for a lot of of really fun cameos. I really like the opener to the film. It goes where you think it's gonna go and just keeps going. I don't want to spoil it since it's a pretty recent release. The standout, other than the cameos, which are still pretty great, it really is like a buddy comedy in the superhero context, I guess. I really enjoyed it. The dynamic between Deadpool and Wolverine is great. You know, there's a reason that it's the main draw to this movie. I was in the theater Sunday opening weekend, so obviously a lot of the audience was pretty receptive to the comedy in the film. I was included. One thing about some of the jokes though, and also some of the action, is felt a little blink and you miss it. Sometimes that works for like a rewatch. Like it definitely made me think, oh, maybe I could watch this again so I could really take in some of that. But at the same time, it feels like sometimes it's a little too fast paced. And obviously, because it's a very long movie, I think it's like over 2.5 hours, you got to cut down the runtime in some way. But I don't know, I just feel like they could have slowed down for a couple moments, I guess. Ending off on a high note is Alien, released in 1979, directed by Ridley Scott. Such a good movie. It's just really good. I decided to finally pull the trigger and start watching the franchise because of the new release of Alien Romulus, which looks really cool. And I'd be mad at myself if I went to see that movie and hadn't seen at least Alien and Aliens, which I plan to watch next. And I feel like I can probably stop with those two. Like I don't think I'm gonna need to know stuff about the other ones, which I've heard are a bit of a dip in quality. I don't know what I can say that hasn't already been said. This film is a classic for a reason. I love the atmosphere and like the subtle world building this film does. It just keeps us engaged and it keeps us curious. H.R. Giger's designs are breathtaking. Like I love how alien and organic the ship is in comparison to the Nostromo, which is this big hulking mass. And while this ancient ship is also, you know, big and hulking, it's just different in a way that feels unsettling. The design of the alien also lent into the design of the interior of the ship. You know, there's all these like pipes and hanging chains that you see out of the corner of your eye. You think, oh, maybe that's the alien, but it makes you feel like the alien could just be lurking anywhere. There's definitely more I could say about this film. Honestly, I think I like it more than Blade Runner because I feel like with Blade Runner, there's a lot more going on, and this just feels like such a tight script. It's such a tight movie. I could definitely talk more on it, but I think I'm going to end my discussion of it there. Just an excellent film. Disappointed I didn't watch it sooner, honestly. Here we are at the end of the video. I said I was going to talk about the new film. This thing has been a great work in progress. Maybe a little bit of procrastination has stopped it from being finished sooner. The film is basically about this intruder that comes in posing as this guy's friend, and some weird stuff happens. That's all I'll really say, not to spoil too much. That should be coming out in the next week or so. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you really did, comment if you have disagreements about any opinion that I had, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.